Hello everybody and welcome to the channel, Out of Ammo, Out of Time. I'm your host as always, Krabby Terror 8, and here we are for another episode of the Investigator Games. Now I'm just looking at my iPad here because I forget, I think we're on part 19 of the Investigator Games Season 2. I can't believe we're so far into Season 2, but there you go. And we are here, yes, with everybody's favourite bootlegger, Finn Edwards. Now, for those of you who are new to the channel, I welcome you heartily to the channel. If you haven't watched any of the Investigator Games in Season 1, I would recommend that you do that because how the investigators perform in this season depends on how they did last season. So you might want to catch up on those first. For example, watch Finn in The Gathering, and then you can see how he does in the Midnight Masks. Now, just a bit more of an explanation about all that. What is the Investigator Games? Well, for those of you who are new to the channel, I'll explain. For those of you who have heard me say this every single time, I apologize. You can move forward to the beginning of the play. But it's like the Hunger Games. We take each investigator true solo and we put them through a scenario and we see how they go. And depending on how they go, they end up in a league table like this one. Now, this league table shows the points, victory points carried over from The Gathering and added to the Midnight Masks. And we can see the reason my voice might sound a little different is I'm just looking at an image of the table here, and we have Leo Anderson topping the table at the moment. 5 cultists interviewed by turn 14. No one's managed the 6. It's pretty tough to get 6 in true solo. Not impossible, but pretty tough. Followed closely behind by Roland Max. Now, Roland was top of the table for most of the time, but Leo has pipped him up the post. 2 Guardians, followed by Trash Can Pete and Lola Hayes there. And then we go all the way down. There's Ursula. All the way down. At the bottom, we have poor old Jim Culver and Daisy Walker, who Jim managed no cultists. Poor old Jim. And Daisy only 1. So they didn't do very well at all. So a pretty large range of performances right there. Now, spoiler alert, if you don't know Arkham Horror, the living card game, very well, you're new to it, I'm assuming you know how to play reasonably well. So if you've never played before, please play in real life, and there are millions of great introductory videos on how to play, because I'll be assuming that you at least have a passing knowledge of how to play the game in that way. So yes, here we are with Finn Edwards, like I said, the bootlegger. Pretty interesting character, obviously a rogue. And we can see like all of the investigators so far in the Forgotten Age, one of his stats is only a 1. He has a willpower of 1, which... good job he's got 7 sanity, because that is a little bit of a challenge, having only a willpower of 1. It does mean the encounter deck is not his friend, and so you really have to be very conscious about that. So an ill-placed crypt chill can really mess up your day if you are playing Finn Edwards. As a compensation, though, he has very strong fight and very strong... he has very strong intellect and very strong evade, which means he's great at clue gathering and evading, and his fight's pretty good as well. So he has some compensations to that. And I think in the Midnight Masks, that's not too bad, because you need a pretty good round of intellect, fight and evade, as you would know, to get all of the cultists. So Finn Edwards is actually pretty well placed to do that with his stat line, because you don't need high willpower for any of the cultists. At least not in the base Midnight Mask. I don't know about Return to. Maybe in the Return to, but I don't know. So he's criminally traded. And he has a really nice effect that you can take an additional action during your turn, which can only be used to evade. He's got a very good chance of evading anything. So tackling enemies where he evades and then uses his weapons or his backstab or moves on or whatever it may be, that's a pretty powerful effect. So as long as you can use that, it's pretty good. His Elder side effect is +1, and this is synergistic for each exhausted enemy in play. If you succeed by 2 or more, you may discover a clue at your location. So there's kind of like a play here, which is about evading multiple enemies' location and finding clues. So that kind of thing seems to be Finn Edwards slipping through the cracks and getting away with things. I think Finn Edwards is one of those investigators that isn't always shown a lot of love. I think some people don't necessarily think of him so much as, say, a Jenny Barnes or a Skids O'Toole. However, I will put it in the show notes, but I did listen to a great podcast from Drawn to the Flame on Finn Edwards, where they talked at length about his strengths and how he's perhaps been overlooked somewhat, and that he really needs a relook. Great episode. I will put the link to that in the show notes. Never lose track of the exit or the merchandise. Yes, indeed. Now, I upgraded Finn from his starter deck. That's the other thing about the Investigator games. All the Investigators start with their starter decks. They're not optimized. They're sort of designed that you've got obviously the basic set, and then you've got whichever deluxe expansion is, which would have been the Forgotten Age, and it really just is based on that. But having said that, the starter decks are not ideal, and Finn's was no exception. So I've done what I can. He had 6 available experience points, so I set about trying to do what I could to improve on that. And we're not using Taboo. There's no, it's bad enough that they're using their starter decks without adding Taboo as well. So there's a couple of things that I did here. I used Adaptable, and that's over here in the corner, which gave me the extra ability to swap out a couple of cards. So that was very handy. And then the things that I did was, first of all, I put in an upgraded Leo DeLuca. Thank you to the person who kept saying to me, and I wasn't listening, that you don't just put in another Leo DeLuca for an XP, you can put in the upgraded version of Leo DeLuca for the same XP. So thank you for that. So what I did was I took out Hard Knocks, I took out Eavesdrop, and of course you handled this one I took out because there is no one else playing, so it was basically a pretty useless card. Took out the Backpack and added in quite a lot because we also had Adaptable. Streetwise was an obvious choice. We also put in 2 Lone Wolves, an Adaptable, another Leo DeLuca, and then a Backstab, an Elusive, and a 41 Derringer. That seems like a very long list, but the reason is because we didn't spend 8 experience. We used the Adaptable to swap out a couple of things. So that's what we ended up with. So we now have 2 41.41 Derringers, Finn's Trusty 38, 2 Flashlights, 2 Knives, a Switchblade, 2 Decorated Skulls, a Rabbit's Foot, 2 Leo DeLucas, 1 upgraded, a Burglary, a Dig Deep, 2 Lone Wolves, Pickpocketing, Scavenging, Adaptable, and Streetwise. So that's why I put in the Lone Wolf, because Streetwise, I put Streetwise at the front actually. Streetwise requires resources. Awesome card though. 2 Backstabs, 2 Elusives, which will be very handy in the Midnight Masks. A Lucky, Sneak Attack, an Opportunist, Overpowering Perception, Survival Instinct. So there we go. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know whether I should have put something else in. Yeah. And we also, our weakness that we drew for the Gathering was Paranoia. So that's in the deck. We also got Lita Chandler on board in the Gathering, and so she is in the deck as well, but not the Ghoul Priest, because we did defeat the Ghoul Priest. So that was all good. So I think that's all really with Finn Edwards. I had a bit of a chat to him before we started. He's there standing at the house. Prohibition was the best thing that ever happened to Finn Edwards. Until they banned alcohol, he was just drifting through life doing odd jobs here and there. But afterwards, the demand for alcohol rose to such a fever pitch that he was able to make a living evading the law and giving people what they wanted. His new lifestyle particularly suited his personality, providing him with a taste of danger and plenty of cash. He never got caught and never lost a delivery, and now he's wrapped up in some supernatural conspiracy, but in the end, he adheres to the same principles. Deliver the goods, don't get caught. Yes, that is Finn Edwards. Fantastic. Okay, so I think we're here. We're all set up in Octagon. I think I've got everything set up correctly here. Yes, everything looks pretty good. So I've already randomly chosen the downtown and the south side, so that's all been done. Like I said, we're here at the house, so I think we're all ready to go. We just need to read these out, and then we can just wait for the horn for the Investigator Games, and then we're ready to go. So, predator or prey? Lita seems convinced of a conspiracy within the city of Arkham. She believes that a secret cult serves the ghouls that live in the crypts beneath the city, and that several of the cult's prominent members are scattered throughout Arkham. As you begin searching for them, you can't shake the feeling that you two are being hunted. Action, resign. You don't want to risk taking too long, so you head to safety with the information you've gathered. 6 Doom. And uncovering the conspiracy, you have one night to find members of this cult and unveil their plan. The more members of the cult you can find and interrogate before midnight, the better. Action. The investigators spend 2 clues per investigator as a group. Draw the top card of the cultist deck. Find as many unique cultist enemies as you can, and add them to the victory display. If there are 6 unique cultist enemies in the victory display, advance. Note, not all 6 of them are in the cultist deck. So there we are, on standard difficulty. I'll just, here, we'll just shuffle up the encounter deck, and we'll shuffle up the cultist deck, which is here in Octagon, and I think we're ready to roll. We've just got to wait. Oh, there it is. Oh, and the crowd goes wild. Finn waves at them all, throws a couple of bottles of Johnny Walker into the crowd, and we're all ready to go here in the Investigator Games. So what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Well, what would be great is, of course, Leo DeLuca, because if we have Leo DeLuca, that's going to make a massive difference. So we definitely want Leo DeLuca. Apart from Leo DeLuca, it would be good to have some kind of weapon on board, mainly because we just, if we have things like, acolytes and other sort of pesky, Wizard of the Order, definitely need to deal with them, so having a weapon would be very handy. Apart from that, elusive would be good as well, and I wouldn't mind Lone Wolf, because then I can use my streetwise very effectively. If I can get Lone Wolf out, that would be really, really handy as well. So let's see how we go. Let's draw our opening hands. So we are going to draw our 5 cards. See how we go. Well, we can't have Paranoia for a start, so that's out. So we will draw in place of that. Okay, so here we go. There's no Leo DeLucas in here at all. I think, what have we got here? I think I'm going to do a hard draw here, because I really want Leo DeLuca. So let's take them all out and draw another 5. And see if we can draw into Leo DeLuca. Oh my goodness, we don't. Well, that's not very auspicious start, is it? Oh dear, because that can make a big difference. So what have we got? We got smuggled goods. And then we can see we've got emergency cash, which is okay. We've got a knife. We've got a lucky, and we've got an elusive. So there we go. That's not great. That's really not great. We really didn't get what we wanted to start with, but that's the way it goes in the Investigator Games. Yes, so we should see if we can try and draw into Leo DeLuca. But anyway, so what are we going to do? So we're here at the house. So first action is I am going to take another resource and draw a card. Okay, so we got our trusty 38, so that's something. So that's our first action. For our second action, I am going to spend 2. I think we've just got to accept that Leo's not going to turn up. And I'll bring out my my trusty 38. 3 ammo. So it's a fin and it's fast. So it's fast, so it doesn't actually take an action. Oh, that's good. Wow. So it's fast. Spend an ammo, get +2. If the attacked enemy is not engaged with you, you deal +1 damage for this attack. So again, that's evasion, right? So that's very nice. Okay, so there we go. There's that. So we still have 2 actions. What else should we do? I think for our second action, let's go ahead and investigate. So we're talking about a 2 versus a 4. A 2 versus a 4. I think we just go ahead and straight up do that. Chaos Bag gives us a tablet, which is -3, so we fail. Okay, well, we can't put a clue down. If you fail, place one of your clues. You don't. So let's do it again. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so we succeed. Okay, so that was a bit all over the place to start with, wasn't it? My goodness. Okay, so let's just review what happened. So we didn't draw well. We didn't get what we wanted. So the first thing we did was take a resource and draw a card. We drew into Finn's 38. We then fast played its 38 onto the table. And then after we did that, we investigated and failed. And then we investigated again and succeeded. So what we'll do next time is we'll move up to Rivertown and get the second clue. And hopefully we can get the first cultist on the table. And hopefully at some stage Leo DeLuca will turn up, which would be nice. Anyway, so that's the end of the investigation phase. We move into the enemy phase, but of course no enemies to speak of. So we move into upkeep, and there he is. Better late than never, Leo. Oh boy. Well, at least he's here now. That's good. Okay. So that's a relief. Okay, so we will move into the Mythos phase, and the first Doom goes down. So let's have a look at what the lovely encounter deck has for us, and it has Obscuring Fog attached to your location. Well, that's fine, because we've gotten the clue here, so we won't need that, but we'll just put it there just to remind us. Put Obscuring Fog at the back. There we go. Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay, so let's move straight into the investigation phase. 3 actions on to Finn. Well, first action is I might as well do this, draw a card and gain a resource. So the first action is I am going to take a card and take a resource. Got a knife. And then second action, I'm going to spend all of these resources and bring out Leo DeLuca, which means we get an extra action. So let me just make sure I've done that right. So first action, we drew a card and gained a resource. Second action, we played Leo DeLuca, which now means we have 2 more actions, because with Leo DeLuca we get an additional action. So we will move, and we'll move up to Rivertown. Yep, we'll move to Rivertown. There is 1 clue on Rivertown. And for our final action, we will investigate Rivertown. Straight up, we are a 4. Rivertown is a 1, so -4 or better. Chaos Bag gives us a -4. That's a -3 or better, actually, isn't it? 4 versus 1, so I think we've failed again. We can't even use our lucky because we've got no resources. Well, we're really, really struggling with our investigations, aren't we? My goodness, you would think with a 4 intellects that we would do okay, but nope. Okay, that's all right. We'll get it next time. Okay, so that was another kind of setup phase, really. We took a card, we drew a resource, first action. Then we brought out Leo DeLuca for our second action. Then we moved to Rivertown, and then we failed to investigate again. But that's fine. We will get it next time. Okay, so we will, things are moving a little bit on the slow side. No enemies to speak of, obviously. So we move into upkeep and we get an opportunist. It's very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're getting a bit full on the old cards. Okay, so let's move straight into the Mythos phase. There are 2 Doom down. Let's see what the encounter deck has. And yes, we get an Acolyte. Well, we want to deal with the Acolyte. We don't want to have him hanging around. So where should we put the old Acolyte? Yeah, probably south side. We'll put a Doom on him. Okay. All right, so there we go. That shouldn't be too bad. We'll deal with him shortly. Okay, all right, not too bad. So we'll move into the investigation phase. 3 actions onto Finn. Okay, so what are we going to do? Let's get the first cultist out. So we will 4 actions. What am I saying? 3 actions. I've got 4 actions with Leo DeLuca. So first action, we will investigate a 1 versus a 4, -3 or better. Chaos bag is a 0. So yes, we succeed. We get the clue, I think. Hello? Yeah, that's the clue. Fantastic. Next action, we will throw in those clues. And let's see who the first cultist is. So we'll shuffle up the cultists and we will draw the first cultist, and it is Peter Warren. Okay, that's a good start. He just goes in Miskatonic University, and all we need to do is spend 2 clues to parley with him. So what we'll do is we'll go around the houses up to Miskatonic University, and then we can do that. I guess the other ways we could evade him, because if we evade, you can take additional action. So that's actually quite good. I hadn't thought about that, because we can move, we can evade as an additional action. So, it's using additional action can only be used to evade. So you could move, get a free evasion, and get the clues on Miskatonic University. But we don't have enough actions to do that. Having said that, though, what we can do is we can use our third action to move to south side. Put a clue on there. We can evade, we can use our evasion on the Acolyte as a free action. Let's just move the Acolyte to here. So what are we talking? Evasion, we're a 4, he's a 2. Do we do that straight up? I think we do. 4 versus 2. Let's see how we go. Chaos Back gives us a -2. So we succeed and we exhaust the Acolyte. So that's great, because that didn't cost us another. So we're essentially getting 5 actions this time. So, and then let's hit the Acolyte. So he's a fight of 3, and we're a fight of 3. So it's a 3 on a 3. I suppose we could use our gun, but that seems like a bit of a waste. So maybe we do make it a 4, make it a 5 on a 3. Is that right? 5 on a 3. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so we kill the Acolyte dead. Gone. Brilliant. Okay, that was our final action. So that we did an awful lot in that turn, thanks to all the extra things. So we started at Rivertown. We got the so our first action was to investigate, and we got the clue. Then we spent those clues to bring out Peter Warren. Then we moved to Southside, and then we took a free evasion action. And then for our final action, we fought and killed the acolyte. So quite brilliant. We actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually got 5 goes for 3. How's that for action compression? That's absolutely brilliant. So we'll get the which one did we get, by the way? We got Mars Boarding House ally. Well, we've got an ally now, so we don't need another one. But we can get this clue. Get the one. Oh, what we can do is we could get this clue. We could move to Miskatonic University, evade Peter Warren for free, get another clue, and yeah, we could do that. Or I suppose we can just go to St. Mary's Hospital, get the clue there, and then we can move up. So the only thing about Miskatonic University, it's quite hard to get the clues there because of the Shroud of 4. So that's the only issue with that. So maybe evading Peter Warren is not such a big deal anyway. Okay, pretty happy with that. So let's get Peter Warren next time. All things hopefully going okay. I mustn't forget I've got the good old Streetwise here, but I need more resources for it. So anyway, that's something else to think about with the emergency cash. All right, so we move into the enemy phase. The enemies aren't doing anything, so we move into upkeep. We get backstab. Well, that's good because we need to start thinking about, obviously, the Masked Hunter will come out at some stage and might want to backstab him. Okay, so that's the upkeep phase. So we move into the Mythos phase. There are now 3 doom down. We're halfway through. Let's see what the encounter deck has for us. False lead. If you have no clues, I don't. False lead gains a surge. Okay, so we will do it again. Counter deck gives us hunting shadow. You may either, these two go together, don't they? Spend a clue or take 2 damage. We're going to be taking the 2 damage. So we'll put a damage on Leo and we'll put a damage on Finn. There we go. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right, so far so good. Taking a bit of damage, but that's all right. Got to expect that sometimes. We're now in the investigation phase. 4 actions. On to Finn Edwards. So, okay, let's get this clue here. Shroud of 2. We are a 4. I think we just do a straight up 2 versus 4. Chaos Bag gives us a +1. That was our first action. So we get that clue. That's great. We will move. This also has a clue on it. So this is St. Mary's Hospital. And so let's go ahead and get this clue as well. So that's a 2 versus a 4. So a -2 or better. Chaos Bag gives us a -3. Do we use Lucky? Do we use Lucky? I feel like we should keep Lucky for something a bit more important. I just feel like we should. So let's do it again. So Chaos Bag gives us a -3 again. Wow. Okay. Wow, we are really having some problems here with what should be very straightforward investigations. I don't know what is going on, but that's 2 -3s in a row. My goodness. Okay. So it's not to be. So anyway, we started at the south side. We got the clue. So we investigated and got the clue. We moved to St. Mary's Hospital. We investigated twice and failed. So that's unfortunate. But next time we'll get this clue and we'll get Peter Warren. And hopefully we can get the clues from Miskatonic University. And that'll give us a victory point as well. But that was very unfortunate. Anyway, I move into the enemy phase. No enemies. Upkeep. We get a flashlight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need to bring that out. And then let's move into the Mythos phase. There are now 4 doom down. Let's see what the encounter deck has. Oh dear. Place 2 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Oh boy. Okay. That's all right. We're going to get rid of him anyway. Okay. So there we go. That's fine. Okay. So we're going to get rid of him anyway. So that's fine. All right. So that was the Mythos phase. So we move into the investigation phase. 4 actions on to Finn. First action, investigate again. 4 versus 2, -2 or better. Chaos bag, another -3. I don't believe this. Last, let's try again. I really don't believe this. Third action. Oh my goodness. Again. Final action. I can't believe it. Can you believe that? Can you? I don't think I've ever had that happen. I don't think I've ever had that happen in the whole time. I just can't believe that. Oh boy, I still can't believe that. I thought, -2, all right, you get the odd time that you might fail it. But I think to fail so many investigation draws, this game has just been brutal from that perspective. Okay. Enemy phase, no enemies to speak of. So we move into upkeep and we get survival instinct. Okay, there's 8 cards. That's all right. So we move into the mythos phase. There are now 7 doomed, so that all goes. I'll flip this. And of course, it's the good old Masked Hunter. Yeah. So we will bring out the next agenda. Time is running short. It indeed is. We've just, anyway. It's really not really how I expected things to go. But never mind. We've got an opportunity now, and we're somewhere where we can heal if anything happens, because this is a 4/6/2 creature. Hunter, thank God it doesn't, he doesn't retaliate. So there we go. But we haven't finished yet because we need to see what the encounter deck has. And the encounter deck has another Hunting Shadow. Spend a clue or take 2 damage. There should be a damage on here from before. Wonder where that went. I'm going to actually take the 2 damage because I can heal myself here at St. Mary's Hospital anyway. So there we go. All right. We'll put 4 actions onto Finn. And here we are with the Masked Hunter and Leo DeLuca. So, what do we do? So, is there any advantage? I mean, we get an extra evasion anyway. We can do that anyway. So, it feels like we should just go ahead and do that because we just can take an additional evasion action. And also, if we get the Elder Sign, well, not there's any clues here, but that could have been an advantage. So let's take that advantage here. Let's go ahead and evade. So he's a 2 and we are a 4. I'm actually going to make that a 5, 6. I'm going to make it a 6. I really want to evade. Do we really need... does it really matter that much? You know what? It actually doesn't matter if we don't evade him, to be honest. Well, it does because he would hit pretty nastily. So let's actually do it. Okay, so we're a 4, we're a 5, we're a 6. A 6. And also we've got backstab. So yeah, that's quite good as well. So we're a 6 versus a 2, -4 or better. Chaos Bag gives us a cultist, which is a -2. Place 1 doom on the nearest cultist enemy. So we succeed in evading him. I'm just going to leave him here for now. Now we got a -2, so that gives us 4. Did we succeed by 3 or more? No, we didn't, unfortunately. But that's all right. So we evaded him. And we need to put a doom on him. Nearest cultist. He is a cultist. Yep. Okay. So that was our first action. That's a free evasion action. So now, do we backstab? I think we do because he's a 6. So if we pay 3, we can use our vitality instead of our fight. So that gives us a fight of 4. Let's make that a 5 because he's a 4. So we've just made ourselves a 5 versus a 4. Oh no, we don't have enough money. Okay, let's just wind back. Let's just wind back. Okay. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spend an action and use emergency cash. Give myself 3 resources. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Second action, I'm now going to backstab. So that's using that. So that gives us a 4. That gives us a 5. If I spend 2, I can make that plus 3. 3, 4, 8. An 8 versus a 4. That's better. Okay, 8 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives me a -4. 8 versus 4. We're getting terrible draws, but we did succeed. So we do 3 points of damage. All up. So, okay, there we go. Okay, so there we go. He's 3 of the 6. Now for our second action, we will fight. So we get +2 for this. So that gives us a 3, gives us a 5. That's a 5. That's a 5 versus a 4. So it's a -1 or better. We've got no other. We've got lucky. So let's see. Chaos Bag gives us a -3. I can't believe this. So we fail. Final action. We'll do it again. Thank God we evaded him. So again, it's a 5 versus a 4. Is that right? 2, 5 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -3 again. So I fail again. Yeah, I've checked the Chaos Bag. Everything's fine. I'm just unbelievable draws. Okay. So anyway, that's the end of... So we managed to do 3 points of damage, but that's all we've managed to do to the Masked Hunter. So we'll move into the... That was the investigation phase. We move into the enemy phase. Nothing happens. So we move into upkeep. We get a paranoia. Discard all of your resources. That's not great. Anyway. So we will move into the Mythos phase. We'll see what the encounter deck has for us. And, oh boy, you've now got Wizard out of the Order. I'll put the Wizard of the Order here, and we'll put a Doom. This game is going to finish very quickly, the way things are going. Just unbelievable. I don't think I've had a game in the Midnight Masks like this. It's just, the draws from the Chaos Bag have just been brutal. Okay. Oh, sorry. And we should... no, he was evaded, wasn't he? So let's move into the investigation phase. 4 actions onto Flynn. Now, the first action we're going to do is we're going to look to evade again. We've got no resources, but we're going to look to evade again because it's a free action. So it's a 4 versus a 2. Chaos Bag gives us a skull. Now, a skull is the highest number of doom on any cultist enemy in play. And at the moment, that's 1. So that's a success. So we can exhaust the Masked Hunter again for a free action. Then for our next action, we will use our final bullet. So that gives us a +2 fight. So that gives us, again, a 5. A 5 versus a 4. A 5 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so we succeed. Not engaged with you, so that's another 2 points of damage. But he's not dead yet. He's still alive. Yes. So that was our first action from us. For our second action, I'm going to draw a card. That didn't help. I wonder, I've got 2 actions left because it's now a 3 versus a 4. This is terrible. I'll draw another card. And I will draw another card. Okay. And we threw all our weapons away before because I didn't think we'd need them. Okay, so we move into the enemy phase. No enemies to speak of. So we move into upkeep and the switchblade comes out. Great. Something. Something. Yay. Fight. If you succeed. Oh, this isn't much help either because it doesn't give us extra to fight with. Oh, this is horrendous. Okay. So we move into the mythos phase. There are 2 doom down. Let's see what the encounter deck has for us. It has a locked door where there are most clues. Well, they're anywhere. So let's just put it in St. Mary's Hospital. This is not our problem. I just can't believe this. I'm really struggling to make sense of how things have gone wrong. Anyway, so there we go. So we will move into the investigation phase. 4 actions onto Finn. Now we can evade again. So it doesn't help us with fight, does it? Okay, so let's look to evade. And you see the switchblade is no good because it doesn't give us any extra fight. So I'm going to put in, so we're a 4, 5, 6. 6 versus 2. Chaos Bag gives us a tablet, which is a -3, so we succeed. I think that's fine if you succeed. Okay, so he's exhausted again. That was a free action. So we've got 4 actions left. No, we've got no fight thing, so I'm going to draw again. Keep drawing cards to try and draw into fights. Well, there's something. That's the rabbit's foot. We'll draw again, and we draw into the Derringer. So for our 3rd action... Oh, except we can't buy the Derringer. So he's I think we've got enough for lucky. I'm going to go for it. So here we go. We are a 3, 4, 5. We're a 5 versus a 4, and we've got lucky in hand. So let's hope we get this. 5 versus 4. Chaos Bag gives us a -1. We succeed, and we do another point of damage. Oh, and there we go. The Mouse Hunter is dead. So the doom is gone. Wow, that was just horrendous. Okay. So that was, I think that was our, yeah, because we evaded for free, then we drew 2 cards, and then we fought. So we've got 1 action left. We've already evaded. I'm going to heal 3. I'm going to heal 3 damage. There we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. So anyway, crowd goes wild. Mouse Hunter is in the victory display. So for our next action, we will hopefully... the other thing is the Wizard of the Order's got 2 doom on him. So we need to go and deal with the Wizard of the Order. I've forgotten about that. He is not easy to deal with either. Oh, man. Yeah, because we're already up to 4. Oh boy, this is so tough. Okay. All right. We will see how we go. Let's move into the next. So that was the enemy phase. No enemies do anything. So we move into upkeep. We get the decorated skull. Great. So let's move into the mythos phase. There are now 5 doom down on the... In fact, there's going to be 6 doom with him. Let's see what the encounter deck has for us. A hunting night gaunt. Oh, I was afraid this would happen. Oh my goodness. Okay. 4 doom. So here we are. This is the reality of where we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have no capacity now to fight the Wizard of the Order. We're already up to 6 doom. So I am literally going to evade this Hunting Night Gaunt and get Peter Warren onto the table. And I think that's all that we're going to be able to achieve in this game. It's just been unbelievable. I still can't believe the draws from the Chaos Bag have been brutal. And so it's just been terrible. Put the wrong things on here, sorry. Okay, so we'll get a free action to evade. He's a 1 and we're a 4. But I'm going to make that let's throw in not elusive. Well, we could use this actually, couldn't we? Why don't we do that? Let's not do that. Let's play elusive. So that's 2. Fast play, disengage from enemies, a move to reveal location with no enemies. So we will disengage from the Night Gaunt and move straight to Miskatonic University. 2 clues. So first action, we will spend our 2 clues and we will put Peter Warren in the victory display and the crowd goes wild. So that's the first thing. We've got 3 actions left. We're literally up to 6 doom. And no capacity really to fight. I mean, it's not like we can bring out Dig Deep and use that to fight. So we really are in a bit of a pickle. And we used up all our knives. So let's see if we can get this victory point here, though. Miskatonic University. So let's, for our, so we started here. We used elusive to move to here. So for our, and so we got Peter Warren. For our second action, we will investigate. So we'll use perception for this. So that's a 6, a 6, a 7. 7 versus 4. 7 versus 4. Chaos Bag, it gives us a +1. So we succeed. And we draw a card. Let's do it again. So that's a 4, and we are a 4. But we can make that a 5. We can make that a 5 versus a 4. We can't use Streetwise, unfortunately, but a 5 versus a 4. Chaos Bag gives us an auto fail. We've got 1 action left. Do we resign or do we try and get this? Because this Hunting Night Gaunt will only do 1 damage. So it would be good to get another victory point. So let's try again. 4 versus 4. 4 versus 4, 0 or better. Chaos Bag gives us a -3. No, so we didn't get it. Okay. We'll move into the enemy phase. So the Hunting Night Gaunt hits us for a damage and a horror. The upkeep phase, we get sneak attack. Cool. Actually, that's something we could use against the Wizard of the Order. So maybe, is it not too late? Okay. Except we've got no money. So we move into the Mythos phase. There are now 7. There are now 7. So this, unless we can get rid of this Wizard of the Order, it will finish next time. Let's see what the encounter deck has for us. False lead. If you have no clues, I do have a clue. If you have one on test 4, we're a 4. 4 versus 4. Let's go ahead and do that. Chaos Bag gives us an auto fail. Can you believe these draws? So the clue goes back down on here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so we move into the investigation phase. 4 actions onto Finn. First action, we can freely evade. So it's a 1 versus a 4. We can make that a 1 versus a 5. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, which is a -4. 1 versus 5. So that's successful. So we've evaded the Night Gaunt. So we've got 4 actions left. So we could move, evade. No, because we don't have the money. Hold on. Well, we could. What could we do? We could get money, 1 action, move, 2nd action, evade, 3rd action, sneak attack, 4th action, kill the Wizard of the Order. And then what do we do then? Maybe go to the graveyard and try and get another victory point. Yeah, it's worth trying because otherwise we're going to have to just resign as long as it all works. So the first action, we will move to south side. Yep. Second action, we will look to evade the Wizard of the Order. So we're a 4. He's a 2. So we can make that a 5. A 5 versus a 2. Chaos Bag gives us a -1. So we evade the Wizard of the Order. Yep. For our 3rd action, we will take another resource. And for our 4th action, we will spend those 2 resources. Deal 2 damage to an exhausted enemy at your location. So we do 2 damage to the Wizard of the Order. And we kill him. There we go. So we bought ourselves some time, basically, with doing that. Whew. So we do have some time, and the obvious play is to get ourselves into the graveyard and get that victory point there. Wow, what a game, my goodness. So we move into the enemy phase. The enemy's exhausted, so we move into upkeep. We get another elusive. That's nice. That actually is really handy. So let's move into the Mythos phase. There are 5 Doom down. Chaos Bag, Encounter deck, sorry. Chaos Bag gives us an Acolyte. I don't believe this. We just cannot catch a break with these, can we? Oh, I'm just going to put it here with a Doom on it. Okay. All right. It's our turn. We're in the investigation phase. 4 actions onto Finn. So let's go ahead and move to Rivertown. Let's go ahead and move again to the graveyard. 2 clues. Now we have to test 3 here. We're a 1. So it's a 1 versus a 3. Chaos Bag gives us... Oh, no. Okay. -2. So that makes us a 0. 0 versus 3. We've got to take 2 horror. And we put another Doom on here. So that makes the Doom 5, 6, 7. So literally we've got 2 goes left. So we've got a choice here. We can do 2 Investigates and the Bell Tolls, or we can resign. I think because it's the Investigator Games, we're going to go ahead and do that. So we are a 4 versus a 1, so a -3 or better. Well, I'm going to throw this in and make that a 5 versus a 1. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so we get that clue. And then for our final action, we will do it again. 4 versus a 1. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, and we succeed again. We get both the clues and a victory point. Crowd goes wild, and that's the end of our turn. So we move into the enemy phase. The enemy moves here to Rivertown. We move into the upkeep phase. We get Leo DeLuca. So we move into the the Mythos phase. 6, 7, 8. There's 8 Doom down on the table. So all the doom goes. And unfortunately, we end up with an R2. The 12 bells ring out across the town. It is midnight. There's no time left to investigate the city. You must act based on the information you've collected and the cultists you've found. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was just a terrible that was a terrible scenario for poor old Finn. That was really, really awful. Things started off perfectly fine, and then we just ran through just the worst draws in the chaos bag. Just fail after fail after fail. It was just horrendous. And we really just ended up in a really bad place. However, even though the bells toll, we managed to get 2 cultists. We managed to get 4 victory points. 4 or 5? We got 2, 3. We got the graveyard. And did we get any other locations? We didn't. No, so we only got 4 victory points. So poor old, only in 12 turns. So really was really rough for poor old Finn. So there we have it. Well, that's the way it goes in the Investigator Games. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Now, next time in the Investigator Games, in part 20, I guess, I'm just looking who we'll be playing with. We will be taking a different investigator through. And next time, after Finn, we will be, I guess it'll be a mystic. It'll probably be Father Mateo, I think. Yes, Father Mateo. We'll be taking Father Mateo through the Investigator Games in the Midnight Masks, and we'll see how he goes. Hopefully a little bit better than Finn. But until then, I'm Krabby Terror 8. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.